Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vine Panther Presents. Today, Stacy, Chris, and I are going to get into P-Valley Season 1, Episode 2. And this was a lot going on in this episode. So we are going to organize our discussion by the character's name, like we did the Episode 1 review. So let's start off with the lead character relatively, and that is Autumn Night. Chris, what was your impressions of Autumn Night in this episode?
Oh, in this episode? Still trying to find herself. Like I like the fact that I'm really kind of interested to see who she really is. Obviously, the one thing that's pretty obvious is wherever she came from over in Houston. Not only was there like a big hurricane, obviously, where several people died, but she came from an abusive relationship. But what I loved about this episode was the way she was smart in the sense of she was able to give Andre some tips. Makes me think, like, what did she do? Like, I'm thinking, what did she do before? Like, I know she's desperate, she's tripping, but obviously she's correcting people as far as like, no, it's white wine and stuff. I'm like, so I'm now so much more curious about her as far as her background. Like, who is she really? Like, so that's just how I felt about her. But no, I think I thought this was a good episode for her. So,
Thank you. How about you, Stacy?
I know we discussed offline when she found the suitcase with the ID, and I was saying that ID wasn't her. You were like, oh, I thought it was. But I'm like, it's obviously not her. She's obviously pretending to be someone else. But like Chris said, we don't know who she is. We don't know where she came from. She obviously has like a kid, maybe a boyfriend, who apparently doesn't call her even though she has a cell phone. Nobody's looking for her. Are they all dead? Like, what is the problem? Like, nobody calls her on her cell phone.
So let's talk about the ID. So yes, I have to admit on camera that I was wrong. I don't do that very often. But I was. Her real name is Haley, as she told Andre. Lakeisha Savage was the name on the ID that she got from Houston. And she ultimately used that fake, that real ID, and she called FEMA. She called FEMA to confirm if the identity of Lakeisha Savage was recorded as alive or not. Once the FEMA representative told her that Lakeisha Savage has not been identified, she's like, I can move forward with this ID. She tried to use it to show Uncle Clifford that she was legal to work at the club, and then she used it to transfer that $9,000, I'm assuming, to herself, and we don't know from where.
Probably a credit card.
Yeah, she got her wallet. So I hate to admit this. Maybe I need to stop doing this, but like I got a Social Security card in my wallet. So there you go. You got your Social Security in there. So I'm not saying that maybe that's what she had too, but I'm just saying, if she had like the important stuff, like obviously the first last name as well as the address, a credit card number that has obviously the 3 numbers on the back, so it's going to have that, and then maybe a social. Nowadays, hell, you can find. I hate to say it, but there's crazy. It's insane how easily you can get people's personal information and not even have to be a hacker nowadays. You know what I mean?
So you bring that up. I want to tie it back to what you said. She gave Andre advice. She told Andre how to set up a fake company and to protect his identity and to hide money. And I'm thinking that maybe she was involved in some financial stuff back in Houston. And the fact that she survived the flood, as I said in my first video, there was a flood in Houston last year in 2019. So I think this show is kind of set around then. You also had Uncle Clifford saying that his drug connect, the highway was washed out in Houston, so it's taking him a while to get there. So I think that's where that is. She definitely survived the flood, because then she freaked out at the car wash when she was stuck in the car because the water was coming, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. I'm like, if you're that bad, you should be able to take a shower. You know what I'm saying? If water freaks you out like that. And she's nosy. Like, why is she asking what Mercedes and Mississippi are doing in the VIP room?
But I thought, remember we were talking about when she went to the club? Why did she go to the club in the first place? She went there for a specific reason, but we still don't know what drove her to go to the club. And I was thinking maybe there was something in that room or somebody in that room to where she was trying to see, okay, is it in there, or can she access it or whatever? Or like when they showed the guy, I'm like, well, maybe she's looking for that guy, but it didn't lead up to anything.
And that
I looked at it differently. I looked at it, the reason why she wanted to know in that club is because she clearly has a problem with someone touching her, like obviously for obvious reasons with her ex, that I don't think that she was nosy about what goes on there, but she was curious about like, oh my God, what would I have to do if someone tells me to be in the VIP? Would they want a little extra? You know what I mean? I took that as her being worried about what goes on in there. You know what I mean? That's how I took it, you know. And I felt that she kind of went towards the strip club to begin with, because that is the easiest way to make a lot of money fast. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't have that, especially, if without trying to have a background investigation or anything like that, you need money right now, you can get it just like that, but I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out.
Stacey, what is your rebuttal? I saw your face.
She didn't go there initially to dance, because if you go there initially to dance, you go and you say, hey, I need a job. They look at you, okay, come on. Like, you're not paying to get in. You're not maneuvering to get in. The only reason she went into the butt contest because she wanted to get in, and she couldn't pay to get in because she didn't have the money. So she needed to get into that club for some reason, to the point that she was willing to strip to do it.
Yeah.
And she obviously didn't want to be a stripper, because when she went in there, she's all like this the whole time.
Yeah. I figured she was only dressed like that because of that suitcase.
She's going to the bathroom to change. Everybody else is here naked. She naked. Why is she so prim and proper that she got to go in the stall to change?
Yeah, that to me that was kind of weird.
Comfortable.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, she's able to get naked on stage, but just not backstage. Right. It was weird.
And then she's getting quite comfortable, though, in the stripper life. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was giving a lap dance to a woman. Like, she's gotten more comfortable with dancing for people. Even in the first episode, she went to the VIP room with Mercedes. And Mercedes kind of showed her what you can and cannot do there with the whole girl show for Little Murder. You bring up her daughter. So we saw the photo. She actually used the rice to get the liquid out of her phone, which my wife did once. And
did it work?
And then you saw the picture of the little girl. You don't know her name. You saw her boyfriend's name is Montavious Hill is his name.
How did you know that?
So when she called FEMA, she asked for
the name. I'm like, here I am. I'm imagining like David would be like doing like extensive research on this. Okay, never mind. Okay, you're right. She did give a name. I forgot about that. Right.
And then if you look on IMDb, like she's like, there's a Montavious Hill listed. Like, he's going to be in a couple episodes. So like, it could have been the first episode where you see him hitting her and putting a gun to her head. This episode, and it's probably going to be another one. I'm thinking at some point he's going to come. Like, if this show goes on beyond season 1, he's coming to the club. Like, at some point she's going to get famous enough that her name's going to get around, and that story's not over. Like, he's coming. But we need to figure out, like, what's up with the daughter, and again, how's she gonna work for Uncle Clifford as the spy with Andre, and how and where that's gonna go.
Yeah.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. So
okay, all right. So let's move on to Mercedes. I think, as I said,
she's my favorite character. Her and Clifford's my favorite character, by the way.
Mercedes, even though Autumn is kind of like, I think, framed as the center of the show, like, to me, Mercedes is the center of this stove, because she is like the cornerstone of everything that's going on in the club and outside the club. Right. So she's trying to get out the stripper game at 25, but like Uncle Clifford needs her to dance to keep the club open. Her mom Patrice needs her to dance to keep the church open. And she just wants to buy, a studio so she can teach these girls how to dance, and maybe one day they'll be dancers in the club. Like, I don't know.
I don't think that part's the intent.
Oh, my fault.
I was with you on everything for that very last part. It's like, so they could dance. I was like, I don't know about that one.
But she has to know at some point one of those girls is ending up in the pink. Like,
yeah,
that's gonna happen.
If they have a heart, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess. I mean, she probably doesn't want to think about that, but what I mean. But maybe.
It gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the fact, but in real life, she's actually she's a dancer in real life. I mean, no, she's not an exotic dancer, but she's a dance choreographer in real life. The actress who plays Mercedes.
Oh,
so yeah, she
I mean,
does choreography. Matter of fact, she has a video. I think I found it. It was like on YouTube. It's called Dancing. It's called Dancing Hip Hop. For like, I guess something for like fitness or whatever that came out a couple years ago. So yeah, so she does some real stuff. Like she really dances and acts. So yeah, so it's legit. I don't know if she's really doing all that stuff on that damn pole though. You know, I'm like, holy shit. I was like, that's some serious acrobatic stuff.
I mean, so so when you look at it, like about the money, right? So she's given at least $20,000 to Patrice, her mom, to put into the church. She asked for that money back, and as much as her mom intimidates her, she's still like, I need that money, right? So my thought is like, my question is, does she need it for the club because she knows Uncle Clifford's about to go under, or does she need it to secure that studio? Because I don't know if that studio's paid off.
I thought she was asking for the studio because she said she needed by a specific day because I think she was supposed to close on that property. Because when she brought the girls there, she was like, yeah, on such and such day, this is going to be ours.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I figured it was for the studio, but then, something kind of tingled my mind and said, okay, maybe she thought she was going to give some of it to Clifford as well. But yeah, but the studio thing, I think, is the number one thing.
And when you bring up the studio, I really thought that what was going to happen was her mom was going to guilt her again and saying, I need money. And then she was going to take the studio money and give it to her mom. And she was going to have to tell those kids that they weren't going to get the studio. I thought that was going to be like and maybe that'll be rolled up.
I was going to say, I mean, she ain't got studio yet. Who knows? That could still happen.
Yeah.
That would be horrible. But yeah,
And you see how round her life is. And I noticed she named her dog Black and Mild is the name of a
dog. That was part of my comments too. Being Black and Mild, I'm like, okay. But then I'm gonna just say it, I know my people and they do stuff like that. So that was I hated seeing that on a show. But it is kind of it's real. I just did not want. I was like, damn. I was like, man, that's real. But damn it, I did not want to see that though.
That's real.
It's and I'm thinking like Black and Mild. Like, shouldn't you have two dogs? You can go home. You can go home. I
Black
don't know.
and Mild, right? That would have been better. As she's running with her pit bull and her workout uniform, she runs into her neighbor. Maine is his name. Yeah. And.
Yeah, did you notice he was from the second season of Luke Cage? Did you know?
Really?
That? Yeah, he played Shade's old time prison buddy.
Oh,
it was helping. Yeah, and then I think they became secret lovers.
I did not know that.
But anyway, yeah, that's how I recognized him.
Because from the love scenes.
No, not quite.
My bad. I'm just asking. My fault. So with Maine.
So everybody, this concludes Iron Panther for today. No.
So with Maine clearly being a fan of her dancing, but unfortunately on house arrest, I thought that she would be like, hey, don't worry, I will come by and I can do a show for you at your place so you don't have to break the law to come to the club. Like she could bring, Gidget and Mississippi, with her. Like they could do a thing. They could do like house parties and stuff. I thought she'd be trying to give back to the community, but she like come to the club. And I don't remember seeing him at the club, but I don't know when her last dance. I thought her last dance was going to come like soon. But maybe
I thought that too. But then all of a sudden she said weeks. Is like a couple more weeks. I'm out of here. I'm like, oh yeah.
Her mom probably set her back.
Yeah, I think with all the stuff going on in Mercedes' life, I think that is how I wound up actually liking her character, because when you first get introduced to her, she just seems like just this know-it-all, A-lister in this club, basically. And you saw there was more depth to it, like the issue she has with her trying to actually have a real life out of here. Like, okay, this is cool. I was great of what I'm doing, but I'm not trying to do this forever. And seeing that she's trying to, actually trying to give back with the kids and whatnot, and then being the daughter of the woman of a church, or I guess she wound up later on becoming a woman of church, and dealing with the issues of, because she don't have anyone telling her what to do, but you could see her soft spots, and her two soft spots is her mother and even Clifford. Even though she talks shit about Clifford, you can see that she is kind, but she tries to hide that. with her tough exterior. You know, and I think that's what I like about her. You know what I mean? Like she's, you know, she don't even call her mom's name's Patricia. Like on her phone, they don't even say her mom's name. I mean, say mom. It says Patricia.
Yeah.
And she guilts by giving her the money, like thinking, I don't know. I think subconsciously she's thinking like maybe I'll eventually get her love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then same time, she knows that Clifford is her homie, and she never wants to see that club to get shut down even without her. And you know what I mean? So it's she has a lot of depth. You know what I mean? You know, outside of her exterior.
And that's why I like the show.
So much.
That's why I like the show, because like it's not just about, you know, like booty dancing. Like there's actually like a rounded story to this. I see your face, Stacey. What's going on?
There's a lot of depth on this show.
There's potential. How about potential?
I don't see it. I'm waiting for the depths to arrive.
Man, you're a rogue.
Oh, I think what Autumn's character you're going. I have a feeling that's coming. I have a feeling that's
to come. I'm just waiting.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Mississippi. So Mississippi is doing a lot better in life than she was last week. She's not coming to work with bruises. That's good. Who's taking care of her baby though? You know, when she's dancing, she's getting used to doing breastfeeding while she's working, I guess. She was having fun at the car wash. She was, you know, doing well at the club. So I guess her and her man or whatever are going through a good cycle right now. And okay. I want to see where it's going. Like, you know, are we going to see this guy? You know, I'm sure the abuse is going to come back, and that wasn't just the first episode. But it'd be interesting to see where her story is going and how it ends.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to see Diamond do something, and you know, Diamond, you know, the bouncer. I feel like you know, the next time you see a bruise on her, it'll basically be the last time, because I feel like Diamond's going to see that, because he secretly had, like, you know, he has a thing for her. And kind of go after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially what got me was the whole infamous line saying, hey, you know, I can take care of that. And then revealing like he was overseas and he caught a few bodies. And then when I heard, I was like, oh shit. He said, I know you took out some, but I don't give you permission. He said, the offer is out. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, this season's gonna be interesting, because you already know what's coming next.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So then let's talk about Diamond, aka Benny. So you only saw him really once in this episode, and that was at the beginning, when he was guarding the VIP for Mercedes and Mississippi. Maybe because Mississippi was in there. Maybe he was like, you know, he wanted to make sure Mississippi was okay. And he basically told Autumn again to mind your business and worry about what you got going on. But where was he at the car wash? You know, where was he? Because he's the doorman too. So, like, he's the doorman, he's security. So I'm like, where was he on the door? Like, did he have a day off? And when he does have a day off, who takes over for him? You know, I was like, you know, Benny needs to be around more. You know, I'm just trying to figure out, you know, where he's at. Where's his story going? Like, how does he fit into the bigger picture?
Yeah. I mean, like, I kind of figured, well, I mean, like, a lot of bouncers I know for clubs or even, you know, hotels and stuff. I mean, especially at nighttime, that's usually just their part-time gig. Just like I have a part-time gig and it only happens at nighttime. during the daytime, I'm doing other stuff. You know what I mean? So, and I also kind of chalk it up in the fact that because it's daytime, you're gonna, and it's outside in the public, it'll be less likely of someone going in there and being touchy, opposed to being in the dark at night in a secluded room where you're gonna want bouncers to be there more than anything. You know what I mean? Because remember, you got to pay them to be there. Clifford ain't in no position to get paid. That's why he got a side hustle of his own, selling all those wings. So much so that now he got Lil Murder trying to put in some cannabis butter. I love that touch, because I keep hearing about cannabis butter for the longest time. Now I know it's a southern thing that they do, but actually seeing it in the show, I was like, that's awesome. I was like, okay, they're trying to keep it realistic. I like that. You know,
Well,
it's called cannabis butter. Yeah, cannabis butter.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like basically the way they did on the show, I think was a little excessive with all, like, literally putting all that weed or whatnot. But basically it's like using the herb and kind of making your own homemade butter and turning it together, and it kind of adds, it adds to a sweetness, which is something they have, like, especially, like, you know, which is big down south. You know, so but yeah, so, and I think now Colorado even has, I guess, in their dispensaries, they have stuff to kind of make it blend in with the liquid better too. So Yeah, so they just kind of call it can of butter is what they call it. You know, not can. In the show we call it cannabis butter. You know, but it's really called can of butter. So
we're not advertising this stuff, Chris. So let's make sure we ain't put a link.
I said the
There's a
South.
link in the description of this video where you get things like we're not doing that.
You need some affiliate links.
Yeah, we didn't do that. But let's talk about Clifford. Let's move on to this very complicated, interesting character. So she needs $55,000 to keep this club open. How does that happen? Like, that's not overnight.
Move to like a different facility for that much money?
Man,
I mean,
like,
he's already in the hole. He ain't gonna get no loan. He ain't gonna get no loan after that. Nah, he got to take care of his debt that he has right now before anybody's going to agree for him to move into another facility. That ain't happening. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm confused. I'm confused how she and Big L have any money problems if they're moving Oxy in this club. Like, you should be making some money off that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least enough to pay your bills. I'm not saying you balling, but I mean, how you broke and you in the drug game? Like, I'm very confused on that.
And women. Those are the two prime commodities that you make quick, fast, a lot of money. Women, drugs.
Those are
but it also depends on the location too. I mean, if you're in Jacksonville, Mississippi, it's going to be a little bit different from you dealing with a whole bunch of politicians in D.C. where you got like a lot of rich people. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
Vagina sells everywhere. Drugs sell everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're only the middle people in this process because again,
they're the only club within that entire whatever it is.
Yeah, like you can't go anywhere else, right? So it's like, yeah.
From a supply and demand perspective, they're doing pretty good. I mean, they don't have any competition, which is hard to believe.
Right.
And I'm like, all those women are crammed up into one club. But I'm like, if you're moving drugs, you have strippers, you're selling food, and you're cashing checks for the local undocumented workers.
And then why are they complaining? He was like, I don't know why all these Mexicans are here. Didn't she go into the place and say, hey, come to me?
Yes. Yes, she did.
So why is she complaining?
Well, I think Big L was more complaining. Big L was complaining.
She was complaining.
No, he was complaining too, but I think if I felt like the complaint was just more of, I don't know. I thought at first that the complaint was because of just like more of like what's driving them over here, but then you're right. It was like they did kind of advertise. Yeah.
Well, and maybe they were fighting outside. There's a lot of things going on at the strip club. They got a lot of different, avenues of revenue, and they can't seem to get their shit together. So
all of them outside, but they never come inside for a dance.
Right?
Like there's no cross marketing.
Right? Come in, bring your check, and you get like 5% off.
Have a plate of food, get a dance, get your check cashed.
Boom.
Why is that not
the
plan?
I see. That's not very. I don't know if that's very feasible. I don't know. I mean, confession time. But I've been in a few strip clubs that have like food and whatnot. They don't do that shit. They're not gonna be like, oh well, because a lot of times it's a separate venue. It's a separate venue. So like if they're selling, they might be selling food over there. But then the guys who are making the food needs to get paid too. Now I know. So in the beginning of the episode, it showed that there was a cook. So now that it's all now done by Uncle Clifford, now that might be the case. But at the time, that chef got to get paid, which is why why he quit. He was like, you ain't paying me, so I'm out, So, and that's typically how it goes when you got like those little duplex things going on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, they got to get their own share, but you can't pay me no damn less than what a waitress makes. You know what I mean? So
speaking long-term money, Uncle Clifford finds out through Autumn Night that there's a casino going to be built in the city. He did not know about it, and now he's tasked Autumn to find out more information about that to see what how he can take advantage of what that means to him. What is he going to do? So like, what is he going to do when he finds out his club is on the list of land that needs to be taken to build this casino? Because that's why Andre was there last week. Like he was there taking pictures of the area day and night because that's part of the property that he needs to control. So, and Uncle Clifford, I don't think Uncle Clifford owns that. The land probably belongs to somebody else.
Yeah.
The club itself belongs to Uncle Clifford's aunt She, I mean, I guess she's coming later. Loretta Devine plays her at some point. We'll see her in the show. But we got to see where that goes. Another character that we didn't see.
That's going to be an interesting interaction. I can't wait for that, especially with Clifford, because Loretta Devine, like when you see her in movies and the way she talks to people, that is the perfect auntie to Uncle Clifford. I am looking forward to those interactions. She's like, it's like, bitch, you better put like. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that interaction. It's gonna be awesome.
I hope Loretta Devine plays a character similar to what she did on Being Mary Jane, when she played like a hustler on Being Mary Jane.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a whole different Loretta Devine. Like that was not the one you're used to seeing.
Okay, good. Because I don't want to see Fighting Temptations Loretta Devine. Was it?
No.
When she always plays like the church going woman or whatever, and I'm like, no.
Wait till I want
to see her be thug for once. I just want to see her thug out just a little bit.
that's what she was in Being Mary Jane that one season, because she was running Mary Jane through a whole lot of shit. But anyway, Andre Watkins, we learned more about him. As I was wrong last week when I said I thought he was law enforcement. He's like, yes,
but they said we said even in the episode that he was real estate in the first episode.
I didn't believe him. Oh. I mean, it just sounded ridiculous that any real estate person is taking pictures of a strip club in the middle of the night. I'm like, that makes no kind of damn
same thing. But
yeah, that's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, who believes that shit? But apparently, that's what he does. My bad. But he's working the land deal. Like, he's the representative to get the land for the casino. He's seems like a complicated character. Like, he's honest enough not to take a kickback / bribe. What's wrong, Stacey? What's wrong?
Oh, well, yeah. What happened?
She's like,
oh, you don't like Andre?
You're not going to take a kickback. Okay. But I don't know. I don't know where his character is going. He's obviously in the real estate deal for the money, but he don't want the kickback.
Right.
And is honest enough on that level, but he got a whole girl over here and having phone sex with Fall Night or whatever her name is.
So let's get into that. So you find out.
I forgot about that part. That I forgot he had 2 different phone calls going on.
So STARZ. The title of the episode, STARZ, comes from the fact that he has a scar down his chest. And Autumn Night has a scar from her C-section, I guess, when she had a baby. And so they bonded on that. But yeah, so he has a woman at home. I'm assuming
you say it like that, like it's like that was just like they bonded off. Like, you got scars. Me too.
Like, who does that? Like, hey, baby.
Well, you see that a lot of war movies where like it's like, see this scar, like we're out in the bed. So, I got this when I got stabbed in the heart by a spear. Well, you see this scar, I got this when a bow, with an arrow got shot through my. That's what it kind of reminded me of. It was like, this scar here, my heart was going out of my chest. This scar right here, I got a baby. Like, that's what it just reminded me.
Yeah, but once he brought up the baby, she's like, I'm out. Like, I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of look at it like this. Like, what is, you're stripping naked. People are going to see that. Are you that surprised? Like
he can't be the first one to be like, I see it. I mean, I don't know if you're going to point it out to a stripper. That kind of kills the mood. But he was like, so what's this?
I don't know. There's a lot of people in this show that's very open. I'm like, damn. I already, it's like I have family down south and whatnot, and they are not shy to tell you what's on their mind. But goddamn, these guys will just said anything that's on their damn mind. I was like, oh my goodness.
So we're gonna finish up Andre real quick. So again, he does have likely a wife, because he's talking about hanging up curtains or something. That's what you do in a committed relationship. Like, that's not a girlfriend. And he quickly gets off the phone with her because he has something new to talk to. And Autumn Night, partly because she's actually interested in the guy, I would imagine, partly because Uncle Clifford told her to do it. She decides to seduce him over the phone, and it got graphic. It got graphic. I was not prepared for what I saw. I need to say that. I was uncomfortable a little bit. I was like, yeah, especially the finishing move was a bit much. I was like,
it's a happy ending.
I was like, that's attention to detail. How about that? I mean, I'm impressed with. They were like, hey, I had to rewatch it. I was like, is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is?
You had to rewatch for you to.
I thought it was a scar. I thought maybe it was a scar, and then I realized no.
That was a light colored scar.
I was confused. I was like, it can't be what I think it is, and then it was. My bad. So then we got to ask the philosophical question: is it cheating?
What that? Oh, you really asking?
I mean, we're asking damn question. Yes.
I don't know. I don't think it is. I mean, but I mean, obviously,
technically yes, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, it's frowned upon. You know what I mean? Like like who's not going to get upset if they have like a loved one who they really care about, and all of a sudden, like, hell, let's go something even lower than that, and just like look at porn or something. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be like just a little upset, and like, oh, like they secretly go downstairs in the living room and they turn on a video or something like that. That's gonna mess you up. But no, that's not cheating. You know what I mean? But let's be real. But with this show, we already know what it's going to turn into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but what happened in this episode now? I wouldn't see it as that. I see it maybe disrespectful. There you go. It was disrespectful, not cheating.
Okay. All right. Stacey, you agree with that?
I can roll with that.
All right. We'll draw that line between disrespect and cheating.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Little Murder. So what's going on with this character? So now he's stalking Uncle Clifford in the car, in the club.
About like locking doors, I guess, huh?
Like, we don't lock doors around here. Is he Tommy or some shit? Like, he just get into stuff? Like, how's he doing it? But he's doing it because it's like he wants to get his music played that bad. I'm like, that has to be a local radio station or some shit. Like, why is the strip club the only place?
South, the music comes out of the strip club. That's where they break the music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like a location for it to go everywhere else. It starts in the strip club.
I was going to comment on that too. That is actually approved. That has actually been proven. Like some of these artists and whatnot. Like, I don't know if you heard of the names like City Girls and whatnot. Like, they were making music for a while, but it wasn't until the local strip clubs in Florida when they started bumping their stuff. Then all of a sudden the word of mouth hit or whatever. When people hear that song, they attribute it to like dancing on stage or whatever, and then all of a sudden it gives a different type of vibe to it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he was hoping, But then as you saw though, he was also expecting that people knew who he was. Going in front of the line, be like, man, I'm Lil Murder. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, who? Like, you know what I mean? So I think in his mind, I guess something must have been circulating that he thought that people knew who he was and who he was about. And
they did not.
They did not.
So now what he do? He's slinging chicken at the strip club. He is slinging that fried chicken.
Gotta start somewhere.
At least Uncle Clifford knows that he's gonna get a boyfriend that can cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are skills that they can build a relationship on. I mean,
no, they ain't gonna turn no relationship. I already know that.
Watch, man. You'll see.
No. Let me tell. No. They're gonna be secret boo thing, but they ain't gonna be a real thing. Because here's the deal. Because for one, that dude had a crew. I mean, Lil Murder had a crew, and he's trying to become a rapper. You know damn well if all of a sudden they're caught, like he's gonna be like, yo, get off of me, nigga. Like, he's gonna. Yeah. You know where it's gonna go. Like right now, yeah. Oh no, they're gonna be secret boo things, and then they're gonna be caught holding hands and be like, yo, what you doing? It's like, I'm just watch. What's gonna happen?
All right.
There ain't gonna be no boyfriend. He ain't gonna allow that because he's trying to have his career take off, and I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna do that. I just know it. I mean, even so, if you remember, he even dropped the F-bomb to one of his homies when he we put that brick in there.
Yeah.
I said, "Would you some little?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, what's the Uncle Clifford is seduced by the younger man, and then in the end, his heart is broken when reality hits. Yeah. We got two new characters to discuss. Corbin Kyle, the illegitimate black son of a rich white man that must have died and left his family a whole bunch of money. And Corbin has invested this money into the strip club many places.
Sure did.
He sold. So even with him spending all that money, they're still broke.
So that leads to my next question. Why in the hell has Uncle Clifford not gone to this man and said, hey, I got a proposition for you. Like, you can get free S&M slave treatment for life if you bail me out of this situation. Like, he has money on top of money. Like, this should be an easy thing. This should not even be a conversation. I mean, at least try. So I'm saying I don't understand why they haven't solved this problem.
Well, see, because it seems, as you saw with him not even bringing to his number one girl, he has a problem even trying to admit that he didn't even want to admit it to the homeboy who was doing the numbers. He said, no, I got it. So he's not even admitting it to the people who will find out first. So you think he's going to tell a customer that he knows might have the money? He knew Mercedes was even getting money like that, getting the number one earner, but like he was trying to keep that even low key. He just said he, to the point that even though he knew it was not good to give women extra money, some of the girls extra money, he still did that. Even when his homeboy was like, dude, we broke. What are you doing? He take that stack and he gave it to her because he, at the end of the day, he's still this good person, still trying to take care of his girls first. You know what I mean? That's his soft spot, which was going to do him, and well, to an extent. What I mean is to the extent to he noticed one, Mississippi getting beaten and kind of just being like, hey, try to give her, some motherly advice, essentially. You know what I mean?
So it'd be interesting. It's funny you should bring that up because that kind of goes to my other issue. Like, where does Corbin go in the show? And does Mercedes or Mississippi or both of them go to him to be like, hey, help me with this studio, help me with my mom's church, help me get out of this, abusive situation? Because he does want to give to these women. I think he wants to spend the money because he knows he got it from a really terrible place. He's clearly the smartest one of his three brothers because he sees the long-term money. He's like, if we lease this land, we can make $10 million, not just the $6 million that they're trying to give us. And his other two brothers are like, let's just go ahead and sell off the land. But then he's also running his mouth at the club in front of any random person that happens to be there to be autumn night. Like, keep some shit on the inside. So it's a very interesting dynamic, I think, that he brings to the show.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. That whole slave thing kind of messed me up a little bit, especially finding out more of his background and him being on the plantation kind of made me really. I was like, oh, okay, I ain't as cool as that was. I was like, okay, turning from role play to some real shit. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, okay. All right.
Everybody struggles with their identity in their own way.
Very true. Very true.
Speaking of his brothers, I'd be interested to see if they ultimately try to kill him. Because if he's the only one standing between this, between them and $6 million, it's not that hard to find somebody to kill him in this broke ass town. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. This town is broke as fuck. Like, how is anything worth $6 million there? How much land are you talking about there? That should be an easy million at best. $6 million is a lot of money. And every time they show you the landscape of this place, they are broke as shit. And some of them are riding horses to work or something. I'm like, I
was waiting for you to bring that part up about the horse.
I was like, what are we doing? We clearly have not seen the rich part of this town. That's clear. So unless you're talking about that plantation that the two brothers were on, and I'm like, you don't tell a black man to go pick some cotton. I'm like, what?
Well, they do have a state. They kept talking about the state house, which we haven't seen yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has to be some wealth there. I mean, hell, you saw that big old Escalade that the mayor was riding in.
So let's get into that. So we're also introduced to a Mayor Ruffin, played by Isaiah Washington, formerly of Grey's Anatomy. That didn't work out for him. But now he has gold caps in his mouth. He shaved his head, and now he is a thug / politician that runs this city.
Sounds about right.
Right. And
thug politician.
Yeah, that goes actually hand in hand if you really think about it.
I was like, and he basically told Uncle Clifford tried to step up to him. He's like, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way, but I'm gonna get my car washed, right? We clear on that. And Uncle Clifford was like, hey girls, get your sexy little butts over there and wash this man's car or we getting shut down. And I was like, so I'd be interested to see where his character goes. I'm also interested to see how much he knows about this casino deal and why is he not leading that effort? Like, he should be shutting down Pink right now. He clearly he knows he can use the law to get rid of that club. So if he needs the land for the casino, he should be shutting down businesses left and right just to be like, I'm making way for this casino. So I wonder if they're even talking to him about it. Like, how much does he know about the casino deal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like he's trying to use kind of like the girls as leverage in the sense of being like, hey, look, I can use them as, you know, as not only just staunch supporters, but kind of keep these girls employed. Just have them put on some clothes, and I'll give y'all the liquor license that y'all want. You know what I mean? So it's just more, you know, it's just more of him just kind of playing the game. Not that, like, you're right, yeah, he can shut it down anytime, but I think he thinks he can profit more if he does not shut it down, but just kind of threaten to if they don't do what they said. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah. And then last episode, you saw that Uncle he said so the mayor threatened to send the sheriff over, but the sheriff came by last week, and Uncle Clifford played the sheriff off. So I mean, they seem to have a pretty, you know, understanding, you know, between what goes on at the club.
As long as he keep up with the payments, I don't know if Clifford can hold you know, keep giving the sheriff some like, hey, look away money anymore.
No, that's true, and that's true. So like, where's that money going? So it could be going to, again, Uncle Clifford is trying to take care of everybody. He's trying to help Mercedes out with her, you know, the greedy mama. He's trying to keep the sheriff happy so he don't get shut down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a lot of things, like he obviously manages finances well, so we need to get into that.
Yeah, but you know, one thing that I found very interesting with Clifford, like, as much as he was upset when Mercedes leaving, he did not once say, don't do it. Like, he kept trying to, like, put stuff in some of the other girls' ears and be like, hey, look, you know she leaving, right? Trying to, like, troll her with it. But you notice he never actually outright told her, hey, I don't need, like, you need to not quit, even though you know he does not want to. I think he realizes that she's right. Like, you know, she needs to go. But at the same time, he's like, shit. Like, what do I do now? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm kind of curious to see if she even does quit. You know what I mean?
I think her mom.
She's gonna be like Ghost. She's trying to get out the game, and it keeps pulling her back.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good comparison. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Church. Then it's gonna be
something's going to happen. Yep.
The studio. Then it's always gonna be something.
Yeah.
Then one day she's gonna look at Uncle Clifford and say, "You can't stop me. No one can stop me.
I don't need you."
Oh,
I don't need you. She's like, she's gonna say that to Gidget. Well, let's talk about Gidget and the lack of development for this character. She was slightly introduced first episode. She was barely in the background of this episode. Like, are we gonna get into Gidget? Like, what's her story? What's her struggle? Every one of these women have a struggle. You know, what's her story? Like,
that's the white girl, right?
Exactly. My point, and you were like, I don't know which one you're talking about. Like Gidget.
Sorry.
The cream in this chocolate show. Like, I want, because again, according to the article, she's gonna be like a second generation stripper. Like, she has no problems with what she does. She's proud of it. She's a good friend to Mercedes, as you saw, and Mississippi, as you saw in the last episode. But it's interesting to have they made no effort to develop her story, and you would think that Autumn Night, being the light skinned, Redbone that's taking over the club because of her, her skin tone, that you would think Gidget would be like a top star in this place. So, for example,
nah, that's a little different. No, being Redbone and being white is two different things. I hear you, but it is no. It's all right. No, being light skinned in the black world. I mean, it's the stereotypical being a unicorn. You know what I mean? But like, oh, you're more, that's the stereotype when it comes to black men. You know what I mean? Like how they look at, yeah, because you're right. You can find any white girl, really. There's white girls anywhere. But being a particular light-skinned woman, you know what I mean? They'll look differently, especially in the club scene. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It'd be interesting if we ever see Andre Walken's woman. Like is she dark, light? We at least get a picture of her. I doubt she actually shows up in the show, but it'd be interesting to see if we ever, just get a photo. She goes if Autumn goes over to his apartment, or
walks in or something.
Yeah, and he happens to see a photo on his phone, since people can't lock up their phones in these shows. and be like, hey, I see a photo.
No one can lock up photos. No one can keep liquor from spilling on it. Nothing. Like, it's just, yeah, you know.
All right. Yeah. I see. So we gotta wrap this up. So yeah. So anybody got anything else before we go?
Nope.
Stacey, what would it take for you to feel this show has depth? Just give me one thing. Give me one thing.
Anything at this point.
Dang, that's rough.
Well, which one?
She said anything. Anything.
Anything? Okay.
Dang.
I think you're going to see it when it dwells more into Autumn's backstory.
Yes.
Right. She's like, maybe.
She's like, yes.
Yes. Anyway, so I would like to say love interest. Like, clearly Autumn has her love interest. I'd like to see Mercedes gets one. Is it Maine from across the street? Is it a woman? I mean, maybe she has a girlfriend or something. Let's see. I'm like, she has to have some kind of partner to help her get through this whole mama thing.
Maybe Corbin.
Maybe.
That'll be an interesting dynamic.
I mean, maybe that's why he picks her in Mississippi for the slavery enactment. Maybe she reminds him of his mama. Maybe that's going too far. Never mind. Anyway, guys. So, thank you. Anyway, so thank you very much for this review. We hope you appreciate it. Again, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video. Thank you to everyone who commented on our first video review. We thank you guys very much for your support, and we will see you for episode 3.